Hello, Dr. Emrul. How are you today?
Not bad, and thank you for welcoming me back on your podcast. And it has been a very busy term, and even this time is going to be very busy for me.
It's a busy life, yeah.
Yeah.
But always glad to have you here. It's always a great conversation. And today we had a talk about this. Today we're actually going into something people would deem sensitive. Uh, just to make it clear, both of us are feminists. And by feminists, we mean that we see both genders as equal. We're going to talk about men today, but that does not in any way mean we are demeaning women. So let's go on with that. Uh, while I was researching the topic that you can see on the title, uh, I actually came across a very alarming stat. Men are three times or more than three times, according to a study from UK BBC, more than three times more likely
Hmm.
to commit suicide rather than women. And that got me thinking about this patriarchal system that actually makes men suffer more. A lot of men suffer more than women. Like it has been demeaning to men in a lot of ways more than women, in my opinion, because I've faced a lot of troubles with this with
Yeah.
this kind of, which we will discuss later.
Hmm.
But what do you have to say about this?
Yes, and I am coming from numbers background, right?
Mm-hmm.
So econ background, and I always tell my students that only believe in fact, right? We try
Mm-hmm.
not to make any normative statements. We call them in economics, and
Mm-hmm.
we try to focus on positive
Mm-hmm.
statement. First, let's talk about the feminism part a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
As Fayaz mentioned to all of you guys, we are both feminist. So I think there was a journalist asked either Ben Stiller, the actor, or someone else
Mm-hmm.
that, hey, are you a feminist? Right. So what's funny on this, the guy said, what else you could be?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I have the similar kind of thinking because you're either a feminist or you are freaking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The reason is because when people have a very weird definition of feminism,
Mm-hmm.
people think feminism means that you are working against men. Right. Feminism basically says that woman wants equal right. It's not only women, men, or any other race, gender, or anything. It's just everyone. Only a stupid person would not want to give people equal
Right.
right. So I want to clarify that first. It's very important because we're going to talk about some very sensitive issue, and I'm pretty sure quite unknown to society, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
society don't want to even accept those. For example, Fayaz, you mentioned patriarchal society,
Mm-hmm.
and you suspected that that may be one of the reasons because of that men's suicide rate is three times higher. But let me tell you this stat. It's actually pretty fascinating where the three times word came from,
Mm-hmm.
and we will leave it to the audience how they want to take this stat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's past,
Yeah.
we can change the future,
Of course.
right? So I think there's a study done in UK,
Mm-hmm.
and it was posted on BBC.
Mm-hmm.
Is that about 15.5 out of 100,000
Mm-hmm.
men commit suicide in UK,
Mm-hmm.
and for women the number is 4.9 out of 100,000 women.
Mm-hmm.
So which tells you the three times rate. And you know what's fascinating, Fayaz? US the number is 3.5 times.
Oh wow.
And we think US is a very progressive country,
Yeah.
etc. Another fascinating is that Russia
Hmm.
4 or 4.5 times.
Hmm.
And where in general, because people often think that Russian men are in general a little bit more harsher than men around the world. They're probably more patriarchal
Mm-hmm.
compared to US, and but their rates, men's suicide rate is even higher,
So what if we
right?
can see that the more patriarchal
Yeah.
it is, the worse it is for men, right?
Kind of.
Other
So yeah.
rather than like the what I why I'm saying that is like normally we say this patriarchy is bad for women, but we just overlook how much it's affecting men.
Yes.
Because once you make something out of a woman, you are also making something out of a man.
At the same time.
We're trying to define what gender this gender can do and this gender can do and whatnot, right? So, yeah. Sorry, yeah, you
Yeah.
can go. You can go on with your.
No, no, you are in the right track,
Uh-huh.
and because I'm not an expert on psychology on anything. We are both learning these things. I mean, you know significantly more than I do on mindset and psychology stuff. So the way I understand patriarchal society is basically teaching male that they have to be a man, right? And the women are below us or whatever. This kind of mentality that we have in patriarchal society. And I want to clarify for the audience also what you just mentioned, that definitely our whole goal of this conversation and the reason we are making it public, this sensitive topic, is that we want both male and female or any other gender to completely get out of this patriarchal society kind of thinking,
Thinking, yeah.
completely get out of it, and I will tell you why. And people all often think, and I've seen a lot of feminists, right? A lot of people who talk in social media, in reels or YouTube, they're always saying, oh, yeah, because of the patriarchal society, women are suffering. We do not deny this. Obviously, women are suffering. It's actually the depression rate is higher than men, which is interesting, 50% higher than men reported
Reported
depression
depression
cases.
rates.
Maybe men are not reporting, who knows?
Yeah.
But this very same patriarchal thinking is also hurting men. And I completely agree with you. I think that is one of the key reasons or the main reasons why the suicide rate is high. But obviously, as we go today, we will obviously talk about more reasons.
So you know me. I'm a guy who follows his pattern. Now, I'm not trying to say like I'm very different or anything. I don't think anyone is different. I think everyone is the same. Like everyone is the same, but I kind of like I follow my heart. I'm the kind of
Like
person
everyone should.
who follows their
Yes.
heart, right? So you know how society deems like some stuff more important than the other. Like I'm a creator. I create stuff, I create stuff for people. I create brands for people. I create brand for myself. I create art for people. I create art for myself. So I'm that artistic guy. And I can I can be a reporter myself right now.
Yeah.
I can report that I have faced 100% faced effects of this. Now when I say I'm an artistic kind of guy, I'm a creator, it doesn't mean I did not go through an education system. I did. I went through it. I went through
Yep.
school for years, and now because I want to do something different, not that like 9 to 5 kind of job. Yeah, you do this, you graduate, and then you get a job which is in your field. But some people just think differently, right? But I think when men think like I'm not gonna do a 9 to 5 and like maybe- I people around me, are like, hey, you're crazy, you know
So that's
like
just to, I mean, sorry
yeah.
to
No, please,
interrupt
yeah.
you, right? So unfortunately, the patriarchal society
Yeah.
put this kind of pressure and on men. And guys, when I say patriarchal society, this society includes both women and
Yeah.
male and any gender,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? It's not only male or
Yeah,
female
we're
or
not
whatever. It's not
boxing
your
anything.
parents. It's your surroundings, right? And we're not trying to blame anyone. I
Mm-hmm.
know I always try to talk safe, right? We're not trying to blame anyone that you are patriarchal, we are not, because we are also learning, we are trying to get out of it, and we still have those kind of thinking sometimes, right? We are not right completely
Mm-hmm.
out of it yet. So Faiz, I think what you're trying to say is that society wants us to just work. They want us to be a robot, right?
Exactly.
You need to be a robot, and you need to work 9 to 5, then you come home, give time to your family or partner or whoever.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to all the responsibilities at your home, which
Yeah.
is normal,
Yeah.
and for South Asian men, which is even more. Right, South Asian men gets. I'm pretty sure I don't know the numbers, but
Mm-hmm.
if I do a test right now, I'm 100% sure South Asian men or maybe Asian men gets more phone calls than any other men in the world. Then, which I hate. I personally hate phone calls because I'm always thinking,
Yeah.
and then it kind of startled me right away. So I want to give you some funny example on this. Men always have this pressure of creation. By the way, I want to say one other thing for the audience because some of our audience you probably know me as teacher, right? But you guys don't know Fayaz that well yet.
Mm-hmm.
So Fayaz is a kind of a guy I really admire a lot, and he helped me to set my mindset a lot too. So he really want to help people, right? Which is why his channel name is Uplift,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because he wants to uplift people. He is trying to be humble. He's actually a very good musician. If you look at that, his own genre is hardly anyone does in Bangladesh, right, where he was originally from. So
Mm-hmm.
he was actually a great musician. He studied music, then he finished. Maybe because of the patriarchal society pressure, he
Mm-hmm.
finished BBA suddenly from music to
Business.
bachelor in BBA and then an MBA,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So like in India, I'm gonna say in Hindi thing, guys, like I apologize, is like, you know what, even there people are who are engineers, doctors, people want to be something on creative, people come to them, especially older people come to them and say like, hey, MBA kar lo.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. जाकर एक
Yeah.
MBA कर लो, which
Yeah.
means go and do an MBA now,
Uh-huh.
right? That's so he doesn't resonate too much,
Mm-hmm.
right? Even though he's a fantastic student. I wanted to clarify this. This show is not about praising each other. So coming back to our patriarchal society and pressure on the men. For example, if you work in a 9 to 5 job,
Mm-hmm.
like the pressure that you have
Mm-hmm.
right now from the society around you,
Mm-hmm.
and then you stuck there, your salary is going up by inflation only
Mm-hmm.
or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe you're going up the ladder of the company.
Mm-hmm.
It kills a lot of men, to be honest, anyway, because some people don't want to be stuck in the same position forever. But then suddenly people who are actually following their passion, quite a good percentage of those people become very successful, right?
Yeah.
And they actually, like, some people, many people fail. I've failed many businesses, right? But I've done well. You have to just do well in 2 3 of them, right? Anyway, so then society will put pressure on you again. By society I mean maybe your surroundings will put pressure on you. Oh, look at this, that guy have a very expensive car, why do you have this car, right? And then at the same time, on the other hand, you want trying to follow your passion, you're a creator, and this is the whole freaking world of creators now.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know what, I even think I should have been a creator too, because I
Mm-hmm.
was a very disciplined, very good child, to be honest, like always studying, working, being nice to everyone. uh, so the kind of a pressure that we face as a man, I can share some of my example and you might find it funny. It's actually, by the way, I'm not saying this, it came from a movie, you probably watched it too.
Okay.
It came from a movie where they say, for example, it happens a lot in South Asian culture, but I'm
Okay.
pretty sure it's very common in almost every culture, that your partner or your wife
Mm-hmm.
and your mom have some kind of a tension going on
Mm-hmm.
always, and it's natural
Mm-hmm.
because both of them are looking for your love, and they one don't want
Mm-hmm.
to share the love with someone else.
Mm-hmm.
It's very natural. So in those situations, and this is what the how the patriarchal society behave, you're gonna like it. If you're trying to be very nice to
Mm-hmm.
your wife, you try to be very very super nice to your wife, non-abusive or whatever, people will say you are a weak husband, you're a weak man.
Oh yeah.
You try to be super nice to your mom, you try to give more time to your mom, people
Mummy's
will see
boy.
you're a
Mummy's
mommy's
boy.
boy.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And then same thing happens with so many other stuffs too.
Yeah.
And you want to be very nice to your kids, people will say, oh, you're not a good parent, you're giving your kid too much time.
Mm-hmm.
And happened with me too, with my daughter, right?
But
Yeah.
also another thing, when you, it's sometimes when you go out a
Mm.
lot to work or like whatever your business, uh, you sometimes get deemed like, oh, you're not giving enough time, you're a player, you're maybe doing something outside, you know. I don't know, I don't know if you
Yeah, yeah,
resonate with
yeah, I
it.
know.
And if you stay at home
You're lazy.
editing videos or doing your own you know, whatever you're doing at home,
You're
yeah,
lazy.
you're lazy or you're a bum,
Yeah.
or what they call in our language, like you bekar, like
This
you know,
this
it's
is this is kind of interesting, Fayaz,
yeah.
because I know you for a very long time, and I was actually a pretty lazy person. I
Mm-hmm.
was Nowadays people play video games, they think I don't know what the shit is, right? I have played tons of video
Oh
games when I was
yeah.
younger,
Uh-huh.
right? I was always, even during my masters and PhDs, I was just playing freaking video. I know today it's a profession now, and my time I wasn't showing this to anyone or anything. I was just playing for fun. So then that time people told me around me that, oh my God, you're a lazy guy. You are a man. You need to take care of your family.
Mm-hmm.
And now for the last 4 or 5 years, or even more, to be honest, last 7, 8 years, I work super hard. I work 12, 13, 14, 15 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And we might do another podcast on this. It's
Mm-hmm.
important. I think I mentioned this to you yesterday,
Yeah.
is that isn't it like too stressful? You work 12, 13 hours. It depends on it's a good stress or bad stress.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there is a study done in Harvard or MIT,
Mm-hmm.
on good stress versus bad stress. We'll talk about this later.
Mm-hmm.
So at the same time, like you said, when you work 10, 12 hours a
Mm-hmm.
day, so you have to be outside, right? In
Mm-hmm.
this kind of economy, in this kind of country where the inflation is so high, they will see you're a player. You're
Yeah,
probably
that's what
probably
I was
seeing
saying.
another woman.
Yeah.
You're probably playing cricket,
Yeah.
right? You're probably doing something. You're not working, right? So unfortunately, these are all kind of coming from the same patriarchal society that actually demeans women.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, these men are taught to demean women in a very indirect way by saying that you need to be strong. For example, let's say a man is crying. Like in Bangladesh, let's say if you ever, or any other countries, those are developing countries, right? If you cry,
Mm-hmm.
Fayas, because I think I've shared this with you, I have no problem sharing with audience too. Like I do cry too sometimes. You need
Mm-hmm.
to let it go, right, from your system. So, but if you cry in front of your male friends, right, they might tell you, "Oh my God!" Like, again, I might don't want to say Hindi, but it just keeps coming. I don't know why. Like, "Ladki ki tarah kyun ro raha hai?" Which
Mm-hmm.
means, why are you crying like
A
a
girl.
girl? What kind of a thinking is this, right? So that's what I want to say about my experiences, right, and
Mm-hmm.
what I've seen and how it hurts men and their depression that and affects their mental health also.
It's crazy, right? And this is like something just came to my mind. Like this story, actually two things that comes in my mind. Let me came to my mind. The first, I want to share a story, right? So I used to have this V, you know, those V collar,
V-neck, yeah,
V neck, yeah,
yeah.
exactly, not collar, V neck
Hmm.
shirt, which was pink,
Hmm.
kind of pinkish lavenderish, you know, that color, and not lavender, it was pinkish.
Hmm.
And you know, there used to be study groups.
Hmm.
You know, when we are in school, there are study groups. So
Hmm.
I used to, so the first, I remember when I used to wear that shirt. The first time wore that shirt, I still remember it. I think it was eighth grade or something.
Hmm.
I opened the door, and everyone. I'm not saying only my male friends or or my female friends, or everyone just
Because you're
started,
not
yeah,
supposed to wear pink
pink,
as a man,
and
or
like
V-neck.
yeah, or
Yeah.
V-neck, and
Yeah.
everyone was like ha 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 ha,
Yeah.
you know, and it was like, but you know what I did? It's something that, like, anytime someone laughs at me, I
Hmm.
do that over and over again. So I actually wore that shirt over and
Or
over again, so that now people are getting desensitized to it. You know,
people get used to it too.
people get used. That's how trends happen, right?
Yeah.
I always say that people laugh at something at the beginning, but coming back to the point, come on, it's just a color,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
actually, men look pretty good.
Yeah.
Light pink, you know, it's a pretty
I-
good color, but
And it's technically not about looking good or
looking good,
not.
yeah,
The
actually,
people can wear whatever they want. I
whatever,
wanna
yeah,
I wanna
whatever,
confess I wanna confess something right over
yeah.
here, that many people who are around me, they kind of know. Even
Mm-hmm.
people who are close to me, my favorite color is black. Even if you come to my condo,
Mm-hmm.
then you will see that it's black gray, a combination. This is what my interior designer have worked on,
Mm-hmm.
right, with me. So however, Another two colors I really, really like wearing, and my daughter, she gets really excited, right? It's pink and purple. Every time I take my daughter, this is one of my, I think I'm extremely lucky to have a very friendly daughter. And we, both of us, when we go for shopping, and I love shopping with her, she always picks purple. I actually have one just right now, which I bought from H&M. It's a purple shirt, and I like wearing those. In Canada, we don't have this issue, but unless you're going in front of people,
Mm-hmm.
those are having that patriarchal thinking, these are woman color.
Mm-hmm.
Something else I want to say here, which is extremely, extremely demeaning, right? Even I have used, I'm sorry to the audience and everyone, I have used those words too before, long time ago when I used to
Yeah.
started teaching, like pink collar worker,
Oh my
blue
god.
collar workers,
Yeah.
white collar
Oh
workers,
my
right?
god. It
What kind of
it
what
boils
kind of
my blood.
divisions? Yeah, like a
Like
worker
I don't
is a
get angry, but that stuff is like just like crazy,
a
right?
worker is a worker. A worker is a human resource. No matter
Yeah.
you're a CEO, no matter you're working in a factory, a production manager, whoever you are.
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately, this patriarchal society also not letting men to work in certain sector the same way the feminists and the women feels that there are sectors they want to work on, but they are called the sectors for men
Mm-hmm.
strong. For example, I want to quickly share a stat with you. uh, it has been often told the finance, because I'm a CFA, my whole
Mm-hmm.
background is finance and
Mm-hmm.
financial economics, that the field of finance is not for women. This is unbelievably disgraceful statement.
What?
And even if you look at the number of candidates who write CFA exam,
Mm-hmm.
chartered financial analyst exam, about 30% of the candidates are women, and the numbers are increasing. And in this field, I've met women analysts. I've also met men analysts. I've also met analysts from other genders too,
Mm-hmm.
right? Who have written CFA. I have seen no freaking difference in terms of. But look, at the same time, look, I'm a researcher, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have to. I don't take sides in
Mm-hmm.
general.
Yeah.
So I want to also say there has been research done before
Mm-hmm.
that in general that research is saying, I'm not saying this, in general women are better in literature, poetry,
Mm-hmm.
on those kind of things, and men is better at engineering, science, STEM field,
Mm-hmm.
right? On that, I completely disagree with the study. I have a feeling the study was also been driven by, or the maybe the
Patriarchy.
participants on the study are coming from patriarchal thinking.
Uh, uh, you are a researcher.
Yeah,
I am a researcher too.
yeah.
Of course, you have a PhD. You've done like way more research and
Mm.
way more years. But I always had this thing about research. Do you ever think like you can make a research about anything and put like a bunch of sources and do and prove anything, right?
Yeah,
There are ways to do that, and
yeah,
they actually taught us that in class, like
yeah.
how to the business research methods,
Mm.
how to actually like do a research, and you can actually prove any research. So, but let's put that
I
aside.
said, yeah. Let's come
Let's
back to the
let
point of why men commit men's suicide rate
Mhm.
three times harder. Are they going through something? Let's come to that point,
Yeah.
right? And I at first thought, are men more depressed? Because generally the number one reason of suicide is
Mhm.
depression, anxiety, mental health problem.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it takes a lot of courage to kill yourself,
I think
right?
it's all that pent up because it's like you cannot share with it. Like as we're talking about it, like when you want to share, you talked about it. Like when you share, you can't share anything emotional with your men friends. But my circle is amazing. I'm not
Yeah,
talking about myself.
yeah.
Because we share all the emotional stuff with the boys, and
Mm,
we're cool with it. Also, when sometimes as a man myself,
mm,
even though I have a good, if I'm with someone else or like anyone, when I share something, I feel like, what, I feel guilty that me sharing my sob story
mm.
is actually like affecting someone else emotion. So I feel guilty for sharing that to make them feel, you know
Actually,
do you ever I don't
I-
know,
yeah,
maybe it's some conditioning that I have. I feel guilty for sharing my sad story with someone else because it will make them feel sad. Do you
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
I got
get
it.
where? Yeah.
I get it. And that's again coming from this patriarchal thinking, right? So, just to give you another stat, the number of reported depression cases
Mm-hmm.
for women is actually higher. Because when I first saw this stat, I
Mm-hmm.
thought maybe the number of depression cases reported are also higher for men.
Mm-hmm.
But no, for women, it's almost 50% higher. Then suddenly something struck me. Maybe the men are not asking for help. Do you know why? My own personal experience again,
Mm-hmm.
right? So first of all, I want to tell everyone that I grew up a very loving family. I don't have childhood traumas,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because South Asian, all not all South Asian male can say that,
Yeah, yeah, of
right?
course.
I came from a very loving family. My mom and dad loved me a lot. My brother loved me a lot. Everyone loved me a lot. And so, but in year 2022-23, right, when I started some community projects, so obviously I was working so hard
Mm-hmm.
on them, not taking care of my body, not
Mm-hmm.
taking care of what I'm eating. So I did have some mental health issues for certain time because of burnout. I want to clarify
Yeah.
this, right? It's not an ongoing thing because
Uh-huh.
I right now you ask me how am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing fantastic,
Mm-hmm.
right? I my routine changed and everything. I'm doing really well, and I still don't mind working 12, 13 hours. So what happened, Fayaz, at that time? I've talked to some very close men of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I've asked someone who is like 16, 17 years older than me. I really admire them a lot. I said, I think I'm going through something. This is 2023. I think I'm going through something. I'm having hard time sleeping also. What should I do? And the person said, the person is also South Asian, right, from my culture, said, I think you just need to pray. And look, I'm not against praying, right? I also pray,
Mm-hmm.
right, whenever I can. Praying is part of it, right? It's like sharing your issues with someone like God
Mm-hmm.
or Allah or
Mm-hmm.
any other religion you follow. So at the same time, and so uh, it's so what's happening uh, is that male cannot share their things even with other male.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they don't care, they make fun of you, as sometimes they're not even useful.
Mm-hmm.
There is another person.
Mm-hmm.
There is another person in. I also admire that person a lot. By the way, he's very highly educated. Also,
Mm-hmm.
I asked that I think I'm going through something. What should I do?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Do you know what that person said? I have a feeling you need to start drinking because I don't drink. Right? Maybe once a month, but hardly. So, so I mean, it's a woman.
Oh.
It's a woman who told me that I
Oh,
think
okay.
you need to go to a therapist, right? That got
There you
me,
go.
yeah, Faiz, that got me thinking, which is when I again started doing some research, is that women in general, and there is a research done by, there was a survey of 260 people
Mm-hmm.
in UK also, I believe, yeah, in UK, and some behavioral science psychology journal, that a woman friendship, woman to woman friendship is like more intimate, it's more emotional, which is why if two women don't talk to themselves for more than a month or so,
Mm-hmm.
they feel like they're completely apart, that they
Mm-hmm.
completely forget each other because the relationship is very intimate and emotional. They're okay to share things with each other. I think majority of the women will agree with me. But for male, their relationship is very different. It's like doing some social thing together, like playing cricket together, drinking together, hanging out together, talking
Yeah,
about
yeah,
women,
yeah, 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 yeah,
right?
yeah.
Talking about
100,
their own
100%.
women in
Yeah,
their life.
that's how men like kind of like
Yeah.
bond.
Which is why if the men don't see each other for 2, 3 months,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter. They still believe that guy is my good friend,
Mm-hmm.
and they meet each other and they get so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To do the same thing, like drink together again after 4 years.
Yeah.
Oh man, yes, we
Yes.
can drink together. We
Yeah.
can drink again after 4 years. We
But
can,
there
yeah,
has been no discussion
yeah.
between a man and another man.
Mm-hmm.
No discussion of I'm going through something and then suddenly breaking down, crying,
Mm-hmm.
men in front of each. So men cannot break down in front of pretty much anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And men also, because the patriarchal society told them that you need to be strong, you always need to be a boy.
Mm-hmm.
If you cry, you are a woman, you acting like a girl, right? Even the men who are trying to be supportive in your life, they will also say that, Are, kyun ro raha hai? Why are you crying?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Are you a woman? Why are you crying?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So this is why they do not report their depression to therapist. So this is why the number of reported cases, I personally believe, I can be wrong, of men is lower.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I can, but I think that can be a fact,
Mm,
like, because men don't want to talk about being sad.
no.
Yeah. Because that would make someone else sad, which is the, like, for me, that's the problem, right? uh Man, oh, let's get into this, because we're it's been a while now,
Yeah, it's been a while.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Almost
I didn't
30 minutes.
this thing, this thing that I need to
Yeah.
talk about, that just came up in my
Yeah.
head. Have you ever heard about don't drop the soap?
Yes, the
Yeah.
joke. Yeah, yeah.
So when so I just imagine, if you're talking about sexual assault over
Mm,
here, so when men go to jail, they have this joke, like literal joke, like don't drop the soap or else. We are joking about men being R worded,
mm.
men
Yeah.
being assaulted.
Sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we, it's a joke. Did you like some, yeah, now people are gonna be like, oh, you're so like tight, like you're so uptight and stuff. You
Mm,
can't even. Hey, but can you imagine if a woman,
yeah.
if it was a woman,
I can. I mean,
like,
the number of reported cases, sexual assault. Look, one thing is for sure: the number of reported sexual assault, not only reported in reality, also number of sexual assaults, harassments
mm-hmm,
happening to women are significantly higher. There is
mm-hmm,
no doubt,
mm-hmm,
right? But one thing that is not reported or underreported is
mm-hmm.
that men also go through a lot of sexual
Assaults.
assaults.
Yes.
Uh, and it's increasing day by day.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the reason behind it? That's not the point of today's discussion. The
Yeah,
discussion is, even in those situations, if the man gets sexually assaulted by
it's a
two, three other
joke.
men, it's a joke.
It's a
So we
joke.
are saying don't drop the soap, right?
Yeah,
Because our favorite movie is Shawshank Redemption, right?
yeah,
One of the favorite movies. I think it's everyone, even for the audience.
yeah. Anyone who watched it
Yeah.
probably can't forget it.
So do you
Yeah.
think it doesn't happen to women's cells? It does. But the thing is that the men's cases are not that
Are
reported,
overlooked. That's the
overlooked.
whole thing. Right?
Yeah.
Even the effect. That's how I. That's why in the starting of the video, the effect of this patriarchal thinking, of this patriarchal philosophy on men, is overlooked.
Yeah.
Like it's always like people talking about how this patriarchy affects women, but how does it affect men?
Yeah.
It's real. It's really bad for men. It's really bad for their minds, right?
And which is why I just want to say my last point
Mm-hmm.
about this for the audience to summarize. The number of suicide cases in majority of the countries at a minimum 3 times higher for men than women. Many researchers, psychologists, including us, we podcasters,
Mm-hmm.
us are saying the patriarchal thinking is the main reason behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason men need to get out of it, of course, other genders need to get out of it, not only thinking that, oh, the reason I need to get out of patriarchal society because it's harmful for women. Nope, it's also harmful for you, yourself.
Hell
So,
yes.
which is why I suggest everyone who is watching this video, maybe some of my students too, just be open minded to what don't judge people, don't judge anyone's sexual orientation, don't judge people based on race or anything, gender or anything. Just go with the flow, and which is kind of connected. And it's Fayaz, I want to ask you that question, and you conclude with that. Okay, it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of connected to the hermetic principle you started talking about, like we all should vibrate in the positivity and
Yeah, no,
whatever.
like even like the hermetic principle, the seventh principle of gender.
Mm,
Like when you look at, everything is connected with the laws of the universe, right?
mm,
That's what. But when you look at the law of the principle of gender, everything, even uh, okay. So when you do like you connect two electrical appliances,
mm.
one is the female, one is the male. When you're plugging in
Yeah, yeah,
your
yeah,
plug is the male,
yeah.
that thing that you're plugging it into
But
the
it's
board,
working
it's a
together.
female, but it's working together.
Yeah,
So see, everything has a male and a female.
yeah.
Even this has a
This,
male and the female. Like
yeah,
there is something inside that
exactly,
connect. The
exactly. Yeah,
one that's taking the connection is the
yeah,
female, and the one that's making the connection is the male.
yeah.
So when we see that, like it's everywhere,
Mm,
you know So these are energies. You as a man have masculine and feminine energy,
And women too. And
and women have
yeah,
masculine and feminine energy. What are you using? We have
hmm.
to use both of these energies in balance, right?
Which is why
We
we
have
should
to.
not look at this very negative patriarchal thinking only from the lens of women. We need to
Exactly.
also look at from the lens of men.
Men.
I think with this we can end this section because this will only record 40 minutes, right?
Oh no, this will do a lot, but anyways, thank you
Anyway, thank you.
guys.